Hey everybody, it's Pax. Welcome back to the campaign play-along. We're playing Return to In the Clutches of Chaos with Trish and Diana for the Circle Undone. Let's take a look at the tarot reading for this scenario. So for this scenario, we chose to invert Judgment, which is when the game begins, replace the highest non-negative token in the Chaos bag with a Skull token. Swap them back after the game ends. That's replacing a +1 token with the Skull token there. The Skulls only ever get around as bad as a -2 or -3 if you're doing alright. And in my experience, if you're not doing all right in this scenario, you're like one bad beat away from being about to lose really hard. So we'll just accept that. Ultimately, it also helps with Diana's spell suite. Azure Flame, Clairvoyance, and Sixth Sense all get kind of a boost from having a skull instead of a +1 in the bag. So really, we're kind of like missing out on a bit of comfort in the Mythos phase. For Trish to get Diana's spells to be a little stronger. So that's pretty cool. Let's take a look at our deck upgrades. So in that last scenario, we did miss an XP on the board, so we couldn't pick up double-double, which is a bit of a shame, but it's okay. We're picking up a second, Another Day, Another Dollar to start a little bit more money there, a second Leo de Luca, and we're upgrading one copy of Lucky Cigarette Case to level 3. For Diana, once again, we're just grabbing a Deny Existence level 5. There's probably a strong case for taking Azure Flame level 5 instead, given there's some nasty 4 health enemies in the scenario, and there's a boss fight at the end, but I think that Deny is ultimately just a little more important in the long run. So for our introduction, we get Intro 1, then we get Intro 3, then we get Intro 4, then we do Setup, right? And Annette Mason is possessed by evil, so we get to do all that stuff, which I've already set up in Tabletop Simulator. The Act and Agenda get set up by this black bag here, the Chariot 7. When Doom will be placed on this agenda, instead you place a breach on a number of different random locations equal to one more than the number of investigators. And when a breach will be placed on a location with 3 breaches, you instead resolve an incursion at that location. And there's rules for incursions. You can, as an action, remove 3 breaches from this act, as a free triggered ability to place a clue on a random location. And the objective is, when we have collected the requisite number of clues, which is 6, we must immediately spend them and advance. When this act advances, move all of the breaches on it to the next act. And then we're going to be clicking the Setup Location button here from the helper that Tika Toy programs. All of the locations are kind of set up in place here, but each of these are at 3 copies. 2 for the normal scenario and 1 extra from the Return to. Move them up to the correct starting location. But when we say Setup, it removes all the randomized ones, and it puts the breaches on as instructed in the scenario setup. So as a reminder, for resolving incursions, when a breach would be placed at a location with 3 or more breaches instead, resolve an incursion at that location, you remove all the breaches, you place a Doom, then you place a breach on each connecting location. And that can chain react and cause additional incursions. Once an incursion is resolved at a location, breaches from other locations cannot be placed on that location for the remainder of that phase. A very important line of text. So here's our Chaos bag for this scenario. Like I said, the +1's gone, the Skull's added. Skulls are -X, the total amount of Doom and breaches on your location. Tablets are -2 for each point you fail by. Remove a breach from the current act. Okay, but let's take a look at our opening hands. And first, I guess with Trish, we'll take a look at what her bad boy here is. It is the first, oh no, the first intellect test she takes each turn is -1. Oh, that's painful. That's just awful for her. Well, let's take a look at our opening hand of 5 cards. Get rid of that. Mr. Rook, that's great. Magnifying Glass is good. Intel Report, not so useful at the start here. Kind of the same deal with Burning the Midnight Oil, but it's money. So, and Nimble is also not the greatest. So let's get rid of those, and then let's replace 3. Okay. Shame about the cryptic writings, but it's fine. And then Diana, she has her Dark Insight, obviously. We'll do Guts, Word of Protection, Twilight Blade. Get that. Goodness gracious. Get rid of the Guts. Twilight Blade's really nice to have, like, as a weapon. But you kind of don't need to recycle stuff early. I'm not a huge fan of this hand. It's a little weird. But I think that we'll just, we'll get rid of 1 Ward of Protection and we'll mulligan 2. Dark Insight and a Holy Rosary. Okay. Not a great hand for Diana. We are starting at South Side. It is the 2 Shroud. Choose and discard any number of cards from your hand. For each card discarded this way, move 1 breach from South Side to the current act. Oy, that's kind of gross. Okay, so we may as well get some setup done. We'll go ahead with Trish. We'll say 1, 2, 3 for Mr. Rook. We're going to use Mr. Rook. And I think we're only going to look at the top 3. Just to get something into hand. Let's think about this. The Hawkeye folding camera is kind of nice because, like, if I'm just getting one clue a couple of times, it can get charged up surprisingly quickly. I think the Lucky Cigarette case is also really good to get early. So let's get that. We're going to go ahead and move. We're going to check out what this top Rivertown one is here. This is choose and discard a card from your hand, move 1 breach from Rivertown to the current act, plus 1 additional breach for each intellect icon on that card. Okay, so I think it'll be pretty easy for us to just discard a magnifying glass for the 2 of those breaches. And I think we'll just go ahead and do that. We'll discard a magnifying glass and we'll move 2 breaches. That way we've got most of the progress towards getting a clue placed. Okay, as for Diana, I think she's going to take a card draw. A Clairvoyance. Not quite what I need. But we'll go 1, 2 for a Holy Rosary. And I think that we will go 1, 2, 3. No, I don't think playing the Twilight Blade has a lot of value this early. I think we're just going to take another card draw. Our Author Deny Existence. Okay. So we've got a lot of really good cancels, and these will be really nice to play back out from underneath us because they get to do really cool effects. But that's fine. And then we'll get our upkeep for Trish. She gets her Hawkeye folding camera. Did I shuffle that? Didn't shuffle that. Try that again. We get our upkeep for Trish. She gets her Perception level 2, excuse me. We'll do upkeep for Diana. She gets her Guts. At the top of the round, we do the breaches. So all that does is we say add breaches. Boom. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Cool. Not too bad. We need to head down here and possibly deal with these ones. Let's see what we get for encounter cards for Trish. Primordial Gateway. Attached to a random location, place breaches on the attached location until there are exactly 3 breaches on it. Unfortunately, the random location function only works while I have my overlay back on, so bear with me. At Rivertown. Where's that at? Oh, it's right here. Okay, it's right on top of us. We have to place the breaches on it. Okay. It no longer has its ability. Then we have to test 4 willpower or 4 intellect to close the gateway. And if you succeed, you can discard the Primordial Gateway. So we're going to have to get rid of that with Trish. And then also get rid of some of these breaches. And then for Diana, we get an Unhallowed Land. For each point you fail by, discard the top card of the encounter deck. If a Curse Treachery is discarded by this effect, deal 1 direct horror to your investigator and do 1 to each of your allies. So I think we're just going to cancel that with a Ward of Protection. Get her boosted up a little bit. We'll take the horror to the chin because we have these deny existences. Oh, that doesn't go there. We have these deny existences. So 1 and 1. Okay, that's fine. So we'll go with Trish first. We're going to test that ability off. It's going to be... Ooh, it's going to suck. It's going to suck because we're going to be at 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe 7, 8 against 4. I think that's reasonable. A -3 because we have 3 on the location. So it does get rid of that, and I draw 1 card from Perception. And so now we've got to get rid of these 3 breaches, or at least some of them. And so I think what we'll do with Trish is we'll go ahead and we'll discard our deduction to remove 2 of them. Put them up on the act. And then we'll spend 3 to place a clue on a random location. Oh, 1 up on Rivertown. Cool. We do have an action left. I think that we're just going to go ahead and use Mr. Rook again to look at the top 3 cards of the deck. Really tempted to take that hot streak, and I think I'm gonna. And we'll play it and get our 7 resources. And we'll be pretty good going forward once we start getting stuff out of the deck. Okay, as for Diana, let's go take a look at the map. I think Diana's gonna we can really easily get these off quickly, so we're gonna go down and figure out what's going on at South Church so we know what we need to do there. So first action to South Church, 1 Shroud. Draw the top card of the encounter deck, then move all breaches from South Church to the current act. Okay. Not bad. It's the single action version. So the nice thing about this is that it gives us an opportunity to do a cancel actively on our turn. The downside is that if it's an enemy, that's going to really suck. But I think I kind of have to roll with the punches on that one. So let's go ahead and use our action, drawing the top card of the encounter deck, Trespasser. Nice. This test gets +1 difficulty for each non-weakness treachery in your threat area, so not much. I could commit the guts to this to just pass it, is a thought. I could also Dark Prophecy. A skull is a -2, and the tablet's a -2, and I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do a Dark Prophecy for this test. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh no! Oh, okay. Whew. Alright, so I can take the skull, that's a -2. This grabs the Elder Sign off of it, but it goes under here, I get +1, so I'm at 4 against 2. I'm passing now. I draw my card and gain my resource. Oh, that's nice. This does nothing. I return those, and the 2 breaches go up on the act, and then we'll just go ahead and spend those breaches once again for a clue on a random location. Ooh, one over at the Silver Twilight Lodge. Interesting. This is the one, because it's not the place where we need to go, the Where It All Ends subtitle, it has clues on it if we go reveal them. Okay, and then just, I guess, in the interest of building a board presence at all, 1, 2, 3, I'll go ahead. Yeah, I'll go ahead and play that Sixth Sense, because the Sixth Sense could be really useful for like picking up a ton of clues really fast, and that's an Investigate for 6. I don't have to worry about Trish's -1 intellect right now, but the thing I do need to worry about a lot is enemy management, so we got to be careful there. Trish is going to get her upkeep. Intel report. Diana gets hers. It's an I've had worse. Very good timing on that, because that'll boost us up a ton of money when we get a cancel off on some damage or horror. For the Doom, we do our randomized breaches. Okay. That could be worse. This one, remember I mentioned, this one's really easy for me to kind of just like quickly get them off, so that's good. But this is far away, and we do have to worry about that eventually. And she's already standing here, so this is really easy to get rid of too. And they do our encounter cards for Trish is the Maligned. Increase the cost of each card you play by 1. Okay, we're going to try and get Diana to remove that from her for sure. Alright, then Diana gets... Ooh, Wings of Darkness. Does 3 against 4. If you fail, take 1 damage, 1 horror, then disengage from each non-Nightgun enemy engaged with you and move to a central location. Now, there's a then here, and it says if you fail, take a damage and a horror. If you cancel taking a damage and horror, did you resolve the pre-then effect? I don't remember the answer to that. Let me check that one. Yeah, I'm fairly certain that if you cancel the 1 and 1, the pre-then effect has not resolved fully, because canceling things counts as it initiating but not resolving. And so you wouldn't disengage from each non-Nightgun enemy and move to a central location. But I think that the tempo gain from canceling this and drawing a card is well worth... Well, let's fail the test first. Okay, ooh, that's a problem. -2. And we remove a breach from the current act for each point you fail by. Clever me, I've not been leaving any breaches on the act. Anyways, point being, I am 1 against 4, so I do fail this, but I will cancel the 1 and 1, gaining 2 resources, drawing a card, and gaining a resource, and then I get Terrible Secret, and I will have this deal me a lot of horror, and then I will ignore that with Deny Existence. Now, I just canceled something, so I can't do it here. I can't shove this under Diana, but I can cancel this, choosing to take, 3 horror and using it all as healing. So that's fine. We also have 1 more willpower. Okay, great. So I think we'll go with Trish first. She'll use an action, discarding a magnifying glass to move 2 breaches up to the act here. And then she'll shuffle down back to South Side to meet up with Diana. I think that she's going to spend 3 on this Lucky Cigarette case. Well, I have another one, though. I think she's going to take a draw action, actually. Ooh, the Shadow Agents. Fuck. That sucks. Okay, let's just use Rook now. I'll do my full 9 at that point. And we'll try and get something that we can deal with him with. Ooh, the In the Shadows could get us a decent evade value against this guy. That would be pretty sick. Yeah, let's shove that over into our hand, and we might be able to do a good evade against him next turn. He will hit us for for 2, but that's not a big deal. Okay, so like I said, Diana's going to move up 1 to meet up with Trish. Like I said, there's a bit of a question of, like, maybe I just take him with Diana and I use this deny to try and heal that damage back. I don't know, maybe that's a little risky. I think that's risky. I think instead I'm going to discard an emergency cash to get one of the breaches. I'll put one up here, and then I'll spend all 3 of those once again to place a random clue. Come on! Ah, close. Over to Uptown. Now I think last action, we're just going to go ahead and draw a card. We really need to get an attack spell out. Oh, there we go. 1-2. Toss that over onto Trish. Like she's never going to take damage ever again. Okay, cool. Now, that being said, you attach this to an investigator at your location under his or her control. Giving this to Trish makes it so that Trish is the one canceling the damage, but I still get to cancel the damage. So anyways, the enemy phase happens, we cancel the damage. I could just let the damage hit Mr. Rook and kill him, but I feel like having that horror soak is going to be important. This can be a really long scenario. We'll have that damage get canceled with Delay the Inevitable. And then we'll do an upkeep. I can't remember shuffling that after I did Trish's thing, so we'll do that for a Hawkeye folding camera. And then again over here for Trish for a dodge. Okay, dodge isn't bad. She might be able to do something shiesty and get a clue at the next location over. So we get our next incursion. Okay, another one here, another one over at Hangman's Hill. Okay, so we got to be worried about Hangman's Hill now. And then encounter cards over here is a Demonic Piping. This surges, but otherwise goes next to the agenda deck. And then that surges into a Chaos Manifest. Test 3, place 1 breach on X different locations, where X is the amount by which you failed. That's not fun to see. We're going to fail that by quite a bit, I think. I think Diana's going to toss this Guts into this. And I think that Trish, she wants to replay this Mr. Rook. Is she okay being 4 against 3 on this? No, I think she wants to be 1 more up. I think she'll turf the Hawkeye folding camera. This is the first one we've seen. So we're going to be 5 against 3. A -2. Perfect. Okay, so that's good. That got past. And Diana gets to draw a card. Ooh, a Draw to the Flame. Not that great, actually. And then a counter card for Diana is going to be another Chaos Manifest. Now, we're at 5 against 3 as well. And I think 5 against 3 is fine. It's not great, but it's fine. A -4. Yeah, okay. So a 1 against 3, we have to place 2 breaches on random locations. Once again, we put 1 on the Merchant District. Right there. And then the French Hill. Oh no, where's that? Where is that? Where's that? Right there. Okay, so we're starting to get a little dicey on our incursions here. So I guess the question is Trish trying to play this to get away from him, to deal with him later? Or is she using this for an 8 against 5, and I can get +1 more from Diana on the dodge commit? I think that she's trying to do the evade to get rid of him. I think that's correct. Yeah, so that's what we're going to try and do. So she's going to be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 against 5, and we'll see what happens. Nice, okay. So he's evaded, he gets defeated. Great. I think we're just going to have to see what happens. We're going to have to let Trish go over here, and whoopsies, didn't mean to do that. Take a look at what's on this location. Spend 2 resources, move a breach from Merchant District to the current act. Well, that was about the easiest thing we could find. 2 more breaches dealt with. I think we even have to use our last action to come down to Uptown and see what it's going to be like at Hangman's Hill. Because if this gets another breach, we have to clear it. Choose and discard a card from your hand. Move 1 breach from Uptown to the current act, +1 for each agility icon. Okay, fine. So I think Diana is going to do a bit of a slower move. No, we can come back here. Again, we can come back here really easy. She's going to come see what's up with French Hill. First action. First action, French Hill. Move and choose and discard a card from your hand. Move 1 breach from French Hill to the current act, +1 for each willpower. Okay, that's really good. I think we can just move, discard the Drawn to the Flame to move one of those. Excuse me, both of them, sorry. And then we'll go 1, 2, 3, get those to get another clue into play. And that goes onto south side. Okay, so south side's a really nice location for her to start sixth sensing some clues off. But what I think we try to do in this scenario, at least, is like it's awkward, but you gotta like get a ton of clues on the board, and then gobble up all the clues and kill her by holding on to enough clues, which needs to be like 6. I think you need to get like 12 clues on the board. There's 2 more here, so we already have the amount we need to get going at all. But we need a lot more than where we're at. We do have 1 action left. I think we're going to draw an Eldritch Inspiration. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. This is really easy for me to get rid of, both from Southside and from Rivertown, and also from here. So that's a good card to have drawn in this position. But it's also really nice for Sixth Sense to just, once we start doing the cluing, to pick up a lot up all at once. Okay, so upkeep for Trish is going to be the Ace of Rods. Not super useful. And then for Diana is going to be an Azure Flame level 3. Okay, the level 3 Azure Flame is kind of what I was looking for. That's pretty good to get right now. We get our breaches from the Agenda Doom. Okay, that's a bit of a gimme. I'll take that. And then we get encounter cards. For Trish is going to be a Hunting Night Gaunt. Hunting Night Gaunt. Oh my goodness. While attempting to evade him, double the negative modifier for each revealed chaos token. So that's a little bit poopy because we're only 4 against 1. And so the -2s that are in the bag are going to be kind of hateful. And then Diana gets a Trespasser. This test gets +1 difficulty for each non-weakness treachery in your threat area. Not that big of a deal. We're probably just going to pass this by accident. So let's just go ahead and do that. A -3, so we do pass it by accident. But again, not that big of a deal. Okay, I think with Trish, I'm just going to try and evade this guy. Again, it's kind of slow, but I'm going to hope that Diana can come over and take the heat off of her with this. So 4 against 1. Ooh, -2. So that's a -4, which means that we fail that. And then for each point we fail by, we remove a breach from the current act. So unfortunately, that does mean a breach is gone. It's kind of painful. We're going to try and evade again. A -1, so that's a -2, so he is evaded. Just chilling there at the location. I feel like we need to go to Hangman's Hill if we're going to move away from this guy. But maybe we're just playing something and having Diana come over. I guess the question is, what are we even playing if we're playing anything? Maybe the Lucky Cigarette case doesn't hurt to have, because we're really hurting for cards in both of us. So we'll play the Lucky Cigarette case for 3 resources because of Despoiled here. Or, sorry, Maligned. I probably said Despoiled when this popped into play, but it's Maligned. Okay, so Diana, Azure Flame for 1, 2, 3, and then a double move over. Maybe she will discard this Clairvoyance on the way. So a move a breach up, and then move again. Okay, so we get upkeep for Trish, a Leo DeLuca. That's going to come in handy. And then an upkeep for Diana, getting an Arcane Initiate. That's also going to come in handy. And we're going to have this Hunting Night Gaunt go into Diana's threat area. So we add breaches from the Doom. Okay, we got to go get that last one at Hangman's Hill now. Get an encounter card for Trish. It's going to be... the Witness of Chaos. Spawn the fewest breaches. After she enters location, place a breach on that location. She's got Hunter. Fuck, these guys are bad news. I think that we're going to have Diana Dark Insight that, because I cannot really deal with that at the moment. Okay, nice, and I've had worse. Oh, that's pretty good. So she's going to get shuffled back into the deck for now. And then Diana gets a Vice and Villainy. That's just going to hop right on top of this Holy Rosary. Not quite like that. There, better. Okay, we're going to have Diana go first, because what I would like to do is clear that Maligned off of Trish, because she needs her money for her Well-Connected, and I don't want Hot Streak to cost 4 whenever I get my next copy. So we're going to be attacking 8 against 3? Yeah, 8 against 3. -4, that is a hit for 2. And then again, 8 against 3. -1, that is a hit for 2, and this guy is toast. Goodbye. Goodbye. And then we're going to test 3 up on this Maligned. I think 3 up is okay. The auto fail. Come on. Okay, that's fine. It's not that big of a deal. So we're going to have to play Leo at 6. But I think that the extra action is just going to be way too valuable to pass up. It's just too good to not have. So we'll head one over to Hangman's Hill. Search the encounter deck and discard pile for which enemy and draw it, then move all breaches for Hangman's Hill to the current act. Shuffle the encounter deck. So we're going to have to do that. So we'll put our 3 there, and then we'll search for a witch. We're going to grab the Priestess of the Coven. This might be a major mistake, but I feel like getting her now is better than getting her later. So we'll do that, and we'll move those 3 up. And then we've got 4 up here, so we'll spend 3 for another clue. Okay, another clue on south side. That's really good for Diana's Sixth Sense to kind of stay in that central location. And then we'll just try to evade her 2 up. Not great. Yeah, not good enough. Okay, so she hits us for 2. We'll do 1 and 1. Maybe I should kill off the Mr. Rook. God, I don't know. I don't think so. No. And then upkeep, working a hunch. And then upkeep over here is a Drawn to the Flame, which is, again, fine. It's good for 2 of those locations, and it's good for the central location. So we get our Doom, which is breaches. Okay, 2 over here on the Merchant District, 1 all the way over on the Twilight Lodge. Counter card for Trish is a Toil and Trouble. You must either resolve the ability on the topmost power treachery in the encounter discard pile, or resolve an incursion at your location. So that means either doing a Chaos Manifest, where I have to place a ton of breaches on random locations, or place a Doom and put 1 breach over on the location with Diana. And I think that we kind of have to go for that. I don't like it. It kind of sucks, but I feel like the 1 Doom is maybe the less risky play here. So 1 Doom gets placed there, all the breaches come off that, and then 1 moves over. And that's Toil and Trouble. Gross. For Diana, we get a Covenant Initiate. Discard the top 2 cards of the encounter deck. It won't cause anything to run out, but let's take a look at what we got. We get Toil and Trouble. That's good. And a Demonic Piping. Oh, that's very good, because I'm really not set up to deal with the Piper. That's excellent. Oh, that's so good. Okay, so we've got a lot of ground we have to cover. We really need to get a little bit off of these ones, but I guess we don't know which one necessarily we need to get them off of the most. But we do add 3 breaches per turn, so we might be in like, oh god, we got to clear 2 of these next turn. So I'd like to get a little bit off of maybe this one or this one, so that if we have to go to this one, we're a bit safer, and if they get placed on these ones, we're also a bit safer. So as much as I don't want to leave her behind, I kind of feel like Trish just needs to evade here. And I don't like that very much. But the Skull's a -1. There's a lot of stuff above -2. So it's like this, right? It's not bad odds on an evade when I've got 4 actions. I'll just leave that -1. Doesn't matter. So we'll take the evade 2 up. Oh, nice. Okay, so she's evaded, and I get to draw a card from Lucky Sierra Case for a Nimble, which would have been nice to have committed to this if I'd have drawn the Elder Sign, but whatever. Okay, and then we're going to shove over 1 location for our second action. I think for our next action, we're going to go ahead and use the Nimble to move 2 breaches. That'll get 3 up here, so we'll use those to spawn a clue. 1 up on Merchant District, okay. And we'll move up 1 location to Merchant District, and we'll just spend... No, we won't spend any resources, because doing that right now would not be a great usage of our money. Yeah, we won't spend any resources here. So then back to Diana. I think that she's going to go ahead and take a fight with the Azure Flame. Again, a lot against 2. The Skull. So she's just dead. And now that other guy's a bit tougher, but that's not that big of a deal, I don't think. I think that we are going to play this Twilight Blade soon. Yeah, we're going to play that right now. 1, 2, 3 for the Twilight Blade. I'm a little nervous about this, but I think it's going to be okay. I'd like to play I've Had Worses out from underneath me to get some money back. That's what I like out of this right now. And I like to play Dark Prophecies out from underneath me again to get some quote-unquote guaranteed skill tests. And we're just going to shove into the center location to be kind of ready for next turn. So that's going to push us right there. That way we can kind of deal with whatever incursions come up. You know, if I get a second one here, second one here, second one here, or a third one on either of those, we're good. And we're just going to ready her before we forget. She doesn't have Hunter, which is kind of nice, so she's just going to stand there. So then we get upkeep for Trish, which is a hot streak. Okay. And then upkeep for Diana is going to be another Holy Rosary. That's good for when this one falls away. If it does, then we get our breaches. Okay, we get our third one up here, so we do have to deal with that, and I think Diana might need to head down this way. Counter card for Trish is another Covenant Initiate. 2 cards off the top. We lose a Night Gaunt, great, and a Malign, fine. And then for Diana, we get the Primordial Gateway attached to the random location. Ugh. At least we're in the center for this, so let's take a look at what we got. Uptown. That's a really nasty one to have gotten. So we get our 3 breaches there, and then that's blanked. So we've got to get this off, and then also discard a bunch of agility icons, and spend some money, and kill that witch. Fortunately, we're well situated to do that. So Diana's going to take a move action, right there. She's going to use her last charge of the Azure Flame against the witch on Trish there. So she's going to be attacking 8 against 2, -4. That does defeat it, which is pretty good news. Glad that didn't hit her. I think that the last correct move is to move here to help Trish test off the Primordial Gateway. So then it's Trish's turn. She's going to spend 2 resources to move 1 breach off of this, up to the act. She's going to play the Hot Streak, which only gains her 6. But that's okay. We're going to spend 2 to move 2 more. Sorry, 1 more is what I mean. She's going to move down, second action. And then she's going to test the Primordial Gateway with Intellect. She's testing 3 because of the High Priestess. 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, we're going to have to get to 8, I think. So we'll go 8 with the Drawn to the Flame. Really can't have that fail. A -3. So that passes. Clears the Primordial Gateway. And then last action, she's going to choose and discard a card from her hand to remove 1 breach. We don't have any agility icons, unfortunately. But we do have a card that we're not too keen to play, so we'll just remove 1 breach. That'll head up to the act, we'll spread our 3 breaches, and we'll place a clue over on the Silver Twilight Lodge. Okay, how many do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we need 3 more clues in total before we can start doing like our clue blitz. Hopefully we can get all the clues off there. Really worried about the witches that are coming soon. Upkeep for Trish, a Burning the Midnight Oil. And an upkeep for Diana, a Dark Prophecy. What I really need over here on Diana is my next attack spell or one of my enchanted blades. And I'm a little worried I'm not going to see one. And this Twilight Blade's going to have to get me there, which is going to be slow as hell. Okay, we get our Doom, which is actually placing breaches. A 3rd one there. A 3rd one there. Oh, that's bad. That's really bad. Okay, but do we have intellect icons? I do. I have the Eldritch Inspiration. So long as Diana's turn isn't too consumed right now, I can get this cleared off. And let's see if it gets consumed. An Unhallowed Land. Okay. Not so bad. Test 4 against 5. -2. So we have to discard the top 3 cards of the encounter deck, and if a Cursed Treachery is discarded, we take a Direct Horror and 1 onto Rook. So 1, 2, 3. No curses. Nice. Not so bad. Also got another one of these Chaos Manifests out of the way. That's pretty good. And Diana gets another Covenant Initiate. Oh, that's annoying. Discard the top cards of the encounter deck again. What do we get? Vice and Villainy and another Despoiled. Okay, Despoiled would kind of be a pain in the ass, but I really was kind of hoping those witches would get gotten rid of. So in the interest of Diana being the one to go Eldritch Inspiration and get rid of that lady, get rid of those ones, I think that Trish is going to engage this chick and try to evade her. It's going to be slow, but it's going to be something. So engage, and then evade, 4 against 2, -2, so she's evaded. And then we're going to move 2 clues off, 2 breaches out onto the act. 1, 2, like so. And then we're going to move up 1 location to the Merchant District. Then we're going to spend 2 resources to do the same thing. And then we'll use those to spawn another clue. Okay, South Side is going to be such a sick spot for her to camp out in 6th Sense. It's not even fair how good that's going to be. Okay, so a move. She'll end up here. She'll discard 1 card. Will she bother with that? No, she won't bother with that. She'll move again to head up to Rivertown. Then she'll go ahead and discard her Eldritch Inspiration, which has 2 relevant icons, which means she moves all 3 onto the act, which we're just going to immediately spend for a clue. Another one on Merchant District. Cool. Okay. So, sucks about the Silver Twilight Lodge. Really hope that that's not a problem, but we'll see what happens. Upkeep on Trish gets us a Nimble. Upkeep on Diana gets us an emergency cash. Ooh, here's the real one. Okay. Third one here. One over here again. One here again. Still 3 here. I can technically get both of these, if these aren't too bad, but I'm pretty sure they're going to be nasty. I'm going to get a witch here and a witch here or something like that. So let's see how that goes. Yeah, I do get one of them. So spawn the fewest breaches. Hunter. After she enters a location, you place a breach on that location. So she has to spawn at one of these two, and one of them has to get a breach. I don't want to put her on Diana, because Diana needs to go deal with one of these two. They both do. And if Diana moves there and Trish does that one, she's going to hunt into the center, and there's going to be a 3 there going into the next round. So I think I kind of have to put her there, and I have to be really clever about what I do with my turn. And then Diana gets Terror Unleashed. If there are no breaches on your location, place a breach on location. You must take X damage or horror, divided as you wish, X is the total amount of doom and breaches on your location. So 1 breach, and I can take 1 damage or horror. So we just get 1 on Rivertown again, and then 1 damage or horror. So I could block this with an I've Had Worse, and get 1 resource, and then get 1 resource and a card. And I think I want to do that because I need to get some more cards. As much as I hate that. So 1, and then 1 and 1. Okay. This is a sign that I really need to play these initiates. Okay, so I think Diana has to go here. So 1, 2. That gets 2 clues on it. So how many clues do we have on the board again? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I only need one more clue on the board to be able to clear it all quickly. But I have to deal with this guy in the meantime. Anyways, what this says is take a horror, move 1 breach from Silver Twilight Lodge to the current act. So I can take 1 horror easily. 1 horror can go on my rosary. I could play an initiate, and then use the initiate to look at the top 3 cards of the deck. Oh, thank goodness gracious. That is exactly what I needed. And then take another horror to get 2 of those moved. That would be the end of her turn. I could move another one, but I think Trish is definitely getting this. It's just how bad is that going to be if it's this other witch, right? I guess there's also a play where I like move in on the witch and use Nimble to try to evade her, but like my values are just bad on Trish right now. She didn't get set up. I haven't drawn any of her static boosts really, and the ones that I did draw I had to use. The magnifying glasses maybe should have been played, maybe, so that I could be getting clues. But I've just been needing to get rid of her cards a little more quickly than I'm used to. This scenario is really good at fucking with your deck's game plan really badly. Yeah, that's just nasty. I guess, no, it's move, do the action, then all I can do is move back to south side. So, yeah, it's not good. Like I said, there's the risky play where I move in and I try to evade her with a Nimble, but even then I'm only 3 up, and I have to bring the other witch with me or also evade that witch, and I'll just be like evade tanking them for the rest of the fucking game if I do that. But I also feel like it might be my only out to make sure that this doesn't get out of control, because if this one gets a doom on it, then all of these go up, and that's really bad. I might have to also just risk this getting 1. Yeah. I feel like that's the... I hate that play, that line of play. Because Diana's all the way over here. Oh, it's so hateful. That's a really tough call. I think I gotta go for it. So she's gonna move in and get both of them engaged on her. Buy me some time against this Witness of Chaos. So we're gonna evade her with the Nimble committed. We're gonna be 5 against 2. A minus what? Oh, a -1. So we get the Lucky Cigarette Case draw. Well connected. Oh, serendipity. That's exactly what I needed to be able to start actually fucking testing this game. So she gets evaded and I get 2 moves. The witch is going to be with me with these 2 moves, but I get the 2 moves. I don't get to move to south side. How do I word this? I don't get to move to south side and discard a card while I'm there during these moves is the only problem. Well, You know, it's not a huge problem, but it's weird. I wonder if I'm moving here and just discarding a card, but I really hate discarding Rook, so I think I have to move the 2. And now I'm down there, and I can evade this Covenant Initiate 4 against 2. No. I'm going to play the Well-Connected, and then I'm going to evade the Covenant Initiate 5 against 2. I think that's an extra one for the Well-Connected. I feel like I kind of have to risk it. Okay, so she's like super evaded. But she's just going to re-engage me in a second anyways, so fine. So we get upkeep on Trish. Perception. Upkeep on Diana. An Eldritch Inspiration. This guy readies. Whew. I'm going to be honest with you. I think maybe I should have dealt an extra horror back to this Initiate. To get that last one and spawn a clue. So that I don't lose a bunch of breaches off the act. And I'm going to go ahead and just say I did that. Yeah, I'm going to take that last horror. The breach off this location. Spending the 3 in total to get one more clue on the board. And it's over on French Hill. Okay. And then the agenda happens. Breaches. Oh, baby. Not happening at South Church. Okay. So, how many do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I need to just like start clooving like crazy, but also deal with these guys. And it sucks that Diana's kind of my clover at the moment. Okay. Encounter draws. The Unhallowed Land. Not that bad. 4 against 5. A minus a lot. We got rid of Terror Unleashed, Trespasser, which is a Chaos, and the Demonic Piping, which is a pretty good set of cards to have gotten rid of. Then for Diana, we get a Terror Unleashed. Before we go any further, that was the last encounter card, so we have to discard this Holy Rosary, and then we test. What is this? This still is 6 because I'm cranked out on my Twilight, or excuse me, my cards under Diana. 6 against 3, so that it doesn't reattach. There's only going to be 1 breach on the location. There's going to be none breaches on the location right now because this hasn't resolved yet. So this just gets discarded, I believe. Yeah, okay. And then we place a breach on the location, and we have to take 1 damage or horror. So we get 1 breach on the Silver Twilight Lodge, and then we have to take a damage or horror. I think we'll just go ahead and take a horror. It's not that big of a deal. I don't know if there's any point in Twilight Blading that for some money, maybe. I could get like $1, but like, do I have another cancel I'm shoveling under there right away? Not really. Also, it sets up for the Deny Existence actually healing me a bit, so that's fine. Okay, this board is a fucking mess, and we need to like clear this and get this done. But I think first things first, Diana just has to fucking play this Azure Flame. Like, I cannot go on any longer without a weapon. And then she wants to move over to French Hill. And then I think she wants to discard something to move some of those things. Can I afford to? I kind of feel like I can't afford to. Maybe I do a 6 cents here. Yeah, let's do a 6 cents here. Let's go ahead and play a Dark Insight from underneath this. Not a Dark Insight. That's the wrong card. It's the Dark Prophecy. Come on. Play a Dark Prophecy from underneath me. Lose a willpower. But I am 7 against whatever my Shroud value is. I get a -2, so we do get to gather 2 clues. Shroud value is only 3 there, so we'll take 1 off this and 1 off this. We'll be starting our clue journey that you're all going to enjoy with me. As for Trish, she has to evade this Covenant Initiate. She's going to use the Well-Connected to try whatever this is. Oh my god. 5 against 2. A -4. That sucks. We're going to try to evade again. A -3. That sucks. We're going to try to evade again. A 0. Drawing a card with that. Fuck you, game. That was absolute bollocks. And then last action, we're just going to have to draw the encounter card to get rid of all these incursions. And that's fucking horseshit as well. And we just have to test that. 2 against 3. That's super dog shit. 2 random locations get a breach. Where is the amount we fail by? So yeah, 2. So let's take a look at what the random locations we get. I just took a screenshot by accident. Uptown, which is over here. And Rivertown. Oh my god. Those are the two friendliest ones I could have possibly gotten. But then we get to get all of those added to the act, and we'll just place another clue. I didn't see where that went, but presumably it went somewhere. Oh no, I did something that broke the script. I don't know what I did, but the script's not working anymore. It's not placing clues. So I'll have to start doing this manually. That's a huge shame, because that's such a huge time saver of having to do this. But we'll copy all those. We'll come back in a second, and we'll get a different random way to place clues and add breaches. Okay, so I'll just shuffle this for a little bit, and wherever it ends, that's where the last clue is going to go on. Over on Hangman's Hill. Okay, cool. And this is what we'll do. I'll just like mass shuffle on this, and then the top, however many, is going to be where breaches go. Okay, so unfortunately, the Witness of Chaos is going to move here and place a breach there, and we're going to be in the danger zone pretty bad if this gets one on it. We're going to have to clear so many of them so fast. She readies and goes on to Trish as well. Gets some upkeeps. She gets a Mind Over Matter. That's pretty good, actually. Diana gets a Steadfast, which is also pretty good, actually. Okay, let's see what we get for the breaches. Again, let's just double check this isn't working. Yeah, it's still not working. So, thank you very much. Unfortunately, it wasn't good enough. We didn't make it the whole way. So, mass shuffle for a while, look away, stop! French Hill, not good. Silver Twilight Lodge, fine. South Side. Oh, there it is! Fuck. Okay, so this gets a Doom, and then it proliferates to there, there, and there, and there, and here. And then this gets one, and I think we just doomed out. I think we just instantly doomed out. Let me double check that that's correct, but I'm fairly certain it is. Okay, so we didn't doom out, but we have, like, a turn to win. I need to get every clue on the board this turn. And I'm pretty sure that's not possible. I'm fairly certain I can't do that. But we'll see what we can do. Because right now, either of these getting an incursion will make me lose. I can make it so that this one won't, but I can't make it so that this one won't. I can't get there. It'd be like 1, 2, 3, and then do this, but then Trish would get killed by all these guys hitting her. So we'll see what we can do. So Trish is going to go first. She's going to just move, which takes attack of opportunity, killing Rook, or hitting Rook for 1. She's going to move up to South Side, with the Witness of Chaos engaging her. Then she's going to investigate the location, taking attack of opportunity, killing off Rook, and dealing a horror to Leo DeLuca. She's going to investigate at 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Against the Shroud value. Shroud value is only 2, so we're going to be 9 against 2. Do I get 2 resources for this? Yeah, we do burning the Midnight Oil to get 2 resources so we can well connect it again if we need to. So we're like 9 against 2. We get the 0. So we do get to draw a card from Lucky. We get to draw 2 cards from the Perception. This could be 3 more resources, but I don't think it needs to be. And then we get 1 clue off the location. And when we get the clue off the location, we can evade the Witness of Chaos. And that's pretty cool, I think. So Diana, what is she going to be doing on her turn? We've got 2 actions left. It was just to move in and investigate. Diana's probably going to be moving here and then just trying to Sixth Sense as many clues off this as she can and take a horror so that we don't instantly lose off that. But even if she gets skulls, she can only pick them up from here and here. So I think we are fine to maybe deduction, maybe move in deduction, I think is okay. A move in a deduction I think works. So we'll do a move for another horror from the Covenant Initiate, and then we'll investigate up here at the Merchant District. We'll spend 2 to ready our Well Connected. We'll tap it again for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, 7 against 3 that time. We would have had 1 less resource, actually. The Burning the Midnight Oil would have cost 1 more to play. And that's okay. So we'll actually be at 6 against it. And so we'll just do a Cryptic Writings. That's fine. We'll do a Cryptic Writings to get high enough. A -4. So we definitely get high enough. We get the 2 clues off that location. And you know what? I think we'll just spend 2 to do the Mind Over Matter and draw a card. Okay, it's the tower. Fine. Fine. Yeah. So that's Trish's turn. We have a decent amount of the clues, but we need to get a lot more, which is a huge bummer. So I think for Diana, we're going to scoot over one location. That's going to bring us to the Silver Twilight Lodge. We're going to take a horror to move one of these breaches to the act, for sure. Let's put all those together. Just take the horror to the face. Notably, we only have 5 of the clues required that we have to advance. When the act advances, move all of the breaches on the right. Yeah, no, that's fine. That'll happen in a minute. We're at the 4 shroud location. We have 5, 6, 7. We're gonna do the investigate with the Sixth Sense. We're gonna spend 1 to do the dark prophecy. Yeah. No, this works. This works. I think this is pretty good. We do 1 to do the dark prophecy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We pull the skull for a -2. We play the Eldritch Inspiration to double the effect. So we can choose 2 locations, up to 2 connecting locations away, and do both of them. That gets shoved. We get a card and a resource. When we look up here at the map, we get 1 off here, 1 off here, and 1 off here. Now we're forced to spend our 6. When the act advances, we move all the breaches. This spawns a net, and we have to spend our 6. Let's go do that. I'll spend 3 off of Trish, and 3 off of Diana. I'm going to be honest with you. I think I take 2 more horror. Whoops. 1, 2, 3, 4. I take 2 more horror to spawn another clue on the map to see if I can get one closer. So that takes the 2 that were here, and the 1 from up at the act, and we're just going to spawn 1 more clue. Ready, go! Where's this? The French Hill. Okay. Okay, so there's 1 there now. Okay, that's fine. Where'd my 2 clues go? I should have 2 more clues. Where are they? Right there. Okay, I must have deleted too many when I was deleting clues there. And then what I can do is last action do another investigate with Sixth Sense, and then use this to do the Dark Prophecy again and commit a guts to it. So I'll still be at 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then I pull 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, I take the auto fail. Fuck. Oh, that's bad news. Yeah, that sucks. Sucks big time. Okay. Well, we did what we could. So a net hunts to here, and then we get hit by 1 with the Covenant Initiate for Trish. She gets a Manual Dexterity, and then Diana gets an Enchanted Blade. Okay, moment of truth. We have to see whether the Hangman's Hill gets pulled in these top 3 or not. Holy Christ. All right, let's do this. Whoop. 1, 2, 3. Oh, thank God. All right, south side. Stop spawning with clues on you. What are you doing? South side. That's a doom. That's not a resource. Let's do resources. There we go. Resource. South Church there, and south side and uptown. So, boom, boom, boom. We have 1 more turn to get the clues that we need to insta-gib her, and we need how many in total? -2 health for each clue controlled by an investigator. After 1 or more breaches are placed at her location, each investigator must either take 1 damage or 1 horror. If we look over at Trish, she's going to take a damage onto Leo DeLuca. If we look over at Diana, she's going to take a horror, canceling it with the deny existence, so she heals 1, and then drawing a card and gaining a resource, and it's an obsessive. But that's not that big of a deal, because she's just mostly going to be standing here Sixth Sensing and hoping to Christ that she draws a skull or a tablet. So that's fine. These cards don't matter too much. Oh, that also gets her up to her 8, which is what she needs to be able to test this location off really nicely. Okay, and then encounter cards for Trish. She gets a On Wings of Darkness. That's really bad. That is really, really bad. Testing 4 against 4. Oh, God. With this tower and everything, I mean, we'll test the 5 against 4, I guess. No. So she does fail. She takes 1 and 1. She moves to the central location. She's going to be here with this Witness of Chaos on her. So that's a major bummer. And then Diana gets Primordial Gateway. We're going to go ahead and cancel that with a Ward of Protection, I think. Taking a horror, spending a resource, and just getting rid of that shit. And then I think we're going to do her turn first. When her turn begins, discard a non-weakness card from her hand at random. Holy Rosary. That could have been worse, I think. Okay. So we're just investigating a bunch of times. We're 8 against 4. 1. Oh, yes. Oh, my God. Okay, 1 and 1. That's 2 clues. 8 against 4. -2. That's another clue. Okay, if nothing else, we got our VP, our 1 VP. Do I just Sixth Sense again and hope to God that I draw another skull or tablet? I kind of feel like the answer to that has to be a yes. No, didn't get it. But I believe that that means that Trish gets 1 shot to investigate her location. So if she wants to investigate here, she has to do a 4 against 2. How many shots does she get? She'll take 1, 2, 3, 4. I think she gets 1 shot. She gets 1 shot at this. 1 sec. Let me double check that I'm correct that she only gets 1 shot. So 1 would kill off Leo, and then 1 on her, bring her to 4, and then she'd take 2 more, and that would kill her. Yeah, so she gets exactly 1 try in which she is 2 up. This is it. This is it. There's the 1 try, 2 up. Yes! Okay, so, anyway, sorry. He killed Leo, right? She did 1 to me. And we lucky secret case, and we get the clue. Oh, how many clues does that say? Does that say 6? 6 clues, huh? Oh, no. She has 12 health. She gets -2 health for each clue controlled by an investigator? I think that Mason just shriveled up into a corn cob. So she's going to head over to the Hex Zone. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. Internet Mason is defeated and we advance. Somehow, despite all odds, isn't that the fucking truth? You have managed to defeat the resurrected spirit which torments Annette Mason. She passes out and collapses to the ground, but the revenant inside forces her eyes open and puppeteers her body in a lurid display. Fools! The ragged, disembodied voice of Keziah declares through Annette's lips as she rises once more. You are not but insects. I have seen the truth. I have seen the face of chaos itself, and you will soon be a part of it. I don't know why Keziah is talking like this. I'm sorry. And then you say the worst thing you could possibly say. Go back to the beyond from which you were summoned and never return. And you go to R1. You get to do these decisions at this point. You've done enough harm. We'll handle this from here. We need your fix to help this, or you're under arrest, or teach me how to be stronger. I'm not sure how many of those we actually get to do. We have agency and detective, and we have cultist and silver twilight. So we can only do you're under arrest or ask for help or say that we're going to do it by ourselves. And then we get 3 victory points in total because we got 2 from Annette and 1 from the location that we cleared. I'm going to make this choice along with the interlude off camera. I don't remember how all of it goes down. And I'm also doing it in the app. I'm using the Arkham Cards app for the first time in ever to do a full campaign. So I'm going to do all this off camera because it's getting pretty late where I'm recording here. And I'll recap what happened in the next scenario. So thanks very much for watching. I really appreciate it. I'll see you next time.